Hey all, welcome to ShareTrek. This is Raj here. Friends, there are a few points that I want to talk about which may influence the direction of what's going to happen tomorrow. And those points are basically that there is a possibility that Fed President Neil Kashkari will be speaking at an event on Tuesday. And if he does mention something, if there are some questions and he gives some statements, that could possibly have a little bit of influence on the market. The next thing is that the market is expecting a 0.4% growth for the retail sales month over month. And we are going to get the numbers for July in the morning. So if it ends up coming above 0.4% increase, that means the market is still hot and the Fed will have reason to be hawkish. But if it comes below 0.4 or at 0.4, I think the Fed will be relaxed, and that should be good for the overall market as such. And then the other thing I've been anxiously looking forward to was the earnings for IMATIX. It was supposed to come on the 14th after hours. I have checked just before beginning this recording. There is no earnings release, and I went to the IMATIX website and looked at their investor section for earnings. I couldn't find the second quarter earnings, so I'll assume that probably I have the wrong date. It may come a little bit later. But most of our genomic companies have already reported, and we have seen where the tea leaves fall when it comes to that. And coming back to my last point, I still think that it would be difficult for market movers powering the market right now to deliver higher targets in Q3 and Q4 in order to keep the upward momentum of price in the face of high interest rates regime that has not yet ruled out further rate hikes. But my strategy is that I'm waiting for FNGU to hit 200, and as soon as it hits 200, I'm going to sell it and book the profits, as it will recover 75% of my unrealized losses. And I'll wait for things to come down so that I can buy into it again. And so far, I'm hopeful of expiring my CRSP covered calls on the 18th of August and keep my CRSP shares. And I will then look at long-term calls and see if there are any meaty premiums to be made. If there are, then I will consider putting a long-term covered call on Crispr. So that's what I have in mind. And now, having said that, I'd just like to have a quick look at the TradingView platform and take a scan over all of our companies and see if there is anything worthwhile to notice. So let's do that. Let's go to the TradingView platform. Well, here we are in the TradingView platform, and right now I'm going to get into the NASDAQ futures chart. We have managed to stay on the support that we have here at 15085.25. That support has worked for us, so we are just going upwards now. So I think this is a good sign. We are also looking at a positive for the futures, 0.31%. So it's looking good out here. Now let's go and have a look at how QQQ performed today. And if you were to look at QQQ, there is a kind of, I think there's a support out here somewhere. Let me see if I can draw a support line and see if it aligns. There is some kind of a support out here. If I just pull it down a little bit. Yeah, there is a support out here. And I think we are staying above the support, and our resistance is at 374.86. So I'm going to mark this red. And also this diagonal line of support from before has now become a diagonal line of resistance. So we have two resistances to cross to get back into civilization as such. And I would also notice that if we manage to turn up here, then we would have done a double bottom, and that should be amounting to something. So let's hope for the best. Momentum also is very close to average, so it just needs to go a little above. MACD is tending towards the signal line. So QQQ is not giving any major negative vibes. It is still looking neutral to positive, in my opinion. And if you look at the VIX is still below 20, so that's good territory to be in. It's at 14.81. Relatively placid waters. And if you look at the technology movers. Yesterday I was apprehensive about many of them. Today Microsoft has converted the resistance into a support at 321.40, which I think is a strong move in my opinion. Apple has also done a trend reversal and it has moved up. So that's another positive. Meta has also stayed on this diagonal line of support for a bear channel, but it has ended up above the previous day's closing. So that's a very good positive in my opinion. And I'm looking at Amazon. Amazon has also converted 138.05 into support. I'm going to mark this green and I'm going to just make this a little thicker so that you can see it in your smaller devices. So we have support here. And if I was to look at Google, again, Google has also shown a trend reversal and it has gone up. So overall, I think the market movers are giving a very positive response, but the fact still remains that all of them are on a bear channel, so they can turn around and start going down again. So even Microsoft is on a bear channel. Apple is also on a bear channel. Meta is also on a bear channel. And if you look at Amazon is not yet in a bear channel, but let's see Google. Google is also consolidating. So many of them are in a bear channel, including FNGU, which is the FANG index. So FANG stocks are also in a bear channel at a overall level if we were to look at it. Having said that, let's go and look at our genomics shares. I've sorted them out so that we have the winners on the top, and Bluebird happens to be the winner. Still, my covered call is doing very well, and I had sold covered calls at $5, so I'm pretty safe. I think by 11th I will be, by around 18th, I should be able to retain my shares as well as expire the covered calls. So I'm optimistic of that. Our higher end out here is 4.14. So I don't see it in any condition going to be ending above 5 before the 18th of August. So that's a good situation for me, but I would hope that this starts going up now. It has already respected the support line out here, which is at 3.23, and it's looking good at this point of time. Our MACD is also tending towards the average and aiming to go upwards, and the MACD is tending towards the signal line, and momentum is also picking up above average. Now, having said that, let us look at the next share that we keep tracking, Invitae. Invitae has done a brave showing. Could it be a trend reversal? We'll have to see tomorrow because momentum is still weak. It needs to be above average. So I'll not make a call on that. If you look at IMATIX, it is still on the bull channel. I'm happy about that. It has still stayed about this. And momentum is also above average. MACD has to cross over the signal line. And that will make this look even better. So IMTX is looking good. PSEB has unfortunately fallen below the line of support at 11.52, so I got to mark this red. I think PSEB is now looking very attractive. It's also fallen below the momentum line of 40. I think, let us see, let's click this, of 40.05, which had been a support earlier. It has now become a resistance, and we are finding it difficult to come out of this. Once we break out of this, I think we should be fine. Next, looking at Gilead. Gilead has done a bit of consolidation out here, but this huge gap up is what is going to drag it down. So I'll keep my opinions to myself on this, but momentum is looking pretty decent. MACD is also pretty good. It's an established company, so it can bounce back anytime. Looking at Beam Therapeutics, not at all good. The momentum is very weak, and we also have the MACD, which is bearish. The stock started very low and then gathered some steam and came back and ended within yesterday's candle. So it's not a resounding endorsement, but at the same time, the market is saying, I don't think we should go below this. So there is going to be some kind of a support out here. I'm going to consider this to be a support, and I'm going to mark a support out here and hope that tomorrow we bounce off on top of this. That said, let's look at Intelia. Intelia has unfortunately fallen below the line of support we drew yesterday, and it is closed below this. So this is going to be a resistance. Momentum is weak, MACD is weak, so it's not looking great. Allogene, again, Allogene is something that I've been suffering with. It's down more than 65% in my portfolio, doesn't seem to get a break. MACD is bearish and the momentum is weak and the share is not at all doing well. I can't seem to find a support that can sustain it. There is no support at all. It's just like a bottomless pit. It's falling down. Hope for the best. Let's look at Crispr Therapeutics, which has managed to bounce off the support, which is at 47.93, and we have a resistance here at 50.31. Momentum is weak, but I don't know why Crispr is suffering so much. In the audience, if any of you know what's behind this weakness for Crispr, please let me know, because good things are going to happen to Crispr and it's got a good deal of money on its balance sheet. It should be doing better. Now next, let's go to Illumina. Illumina also is not doing well. It's gone further below. It's plumbing the depths. It's as low as it has ever been. This shows the market's lack of confidence in the management and their decision to challenge EU, appeal the EU designated fines. It's not a good move. The market is voting by walking away from Illumina. I hope they come to senses and start doing the right thing about Grail. Next, we look at Caribou, which is again on a mild bull channel, and it has bounced off the bull channel today. And the MACD is bearish and it's moving away from the signal line. Momentum is also starting to drop. I don't like what I see here in the technicals, but hopefully the support continues to hold and we stay above this bull line. That's all that matters for Caribou. And as I mentioned in my video on Caribou, it's a steady stock. It's a no drama stock. So I hope it to continue sustaining. The only concern I have is this huge gap up that we had. I hope that doesn't drag us down. Then let's look at DNA. DNA is trying to consolidate and move upwards, but unfortunately this pennant is formed on a downward trend, so it's a bearish pennant. It's typically supposed to break down on the downside, so we'll wait and see, because momentum is also not looking good and the MACD is also bearish. And finally, looking at Verve is not looking good at all. It's totally weak on all technicals. Bionanogenomics is not doing well at all. It's continuing to fall as if there is no bottom, and also the momentum has fallen off the charts. MACD is absolutely bearish. I don't know how viable bionanogenomics is going to be. It's in a terrible situation. I think they did some reverse splits. So after the reverse splits, they are still trying to go back to the original value of the share before the split. It's not looking good for Bionano, my friends. If any of you are investing in Bionano, please do your due diligence. That's what I would say. That said, I realize that I need a bit of a haircut because it's all growing. And friends, as an investor and someone who watches my money, off late I don't find any value in my haircuts. I go to the salon and the lady takes around $28 plus taxes for my haircut, and then I have to give her a tip. Obviously, I mean, it's the decent thing to do. So with all that, it comes to somewhere around $35, and I hardly have any hair. You know, the funny thing is I don't have enough hair to make it worth my while. But yeah, anyway, we've got to go and get a haircut done. So I'll probably go on the weekend and get a haircut done and donate the money out there. Yeah, it's starting to grow on the sides and it's looking like wings out here. So friends, that's all from me for today. And one of the good things is that today I took my little dog Cory for her operation. So she had a wart on her nose that had to be removed, and she had a wart in her eyelid. So the doctor removed both of them. I was brave enough to stand with her. My poor little Cory is a trooper. She responded very well, and they had to cauterize it, and she's back to normal, and she's back to doing her fun things again. So that's a relief. Yeah, I'm looking forward to enjoying tomorrow. But tomorrow promises to be a rainy day out here, so I can't take the dogs out for a walk. So I think tomorrow I'll stay at home and work on 3 or 4 videos for us. So with that, my friends, I'd like to say bye for today, and I hope you have a great day at the markets tomorrow. Take care. See you later.